D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So today I'm going to be reviewing the movie The Tomorrow War, and that came out last week, Friday, I believe, on Amazon Prime. Now, this movie was, and I'll get into more details and stuff, but I kind of liked it and everything. I'll tell you what I liked and what I didn't like. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithms, and small channels like mine get usually always get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. And of course, I ask that you do this to any one of your favorite YouTubers or a small YouTuber, because I'm pretty sure they would appreciate the help also. So why don't we go ahead and get started? The Tomorrow War, this was directed by Chris McKay, and it was originally from Paramount Pictures, but they ended up selling it to Amazon Prime. And it stars Chris Pratt, Yvonne Stravosky. I hope I said her name right. If not, I apologize. Betty Gilpin, J.K. Simmons, Sam Richardson, and Edwin Hodge. Now, the premise for this is Dan Forrester, a former military man turned school teacher who's drafted along with many others to travel into the future to help the fight against aliens who are wiping out humanity. Sorry if I could read. Now, I just want to say, as far as characters goes, I think Chris Pratt did a good job. I like Chris Pratt. I know a lot of people don't like Chris Pratt because of his politics, even though he really hasn't come out with his politics. People just assume and everything. And then also because he's a part of a church that believes in gay conversion therapy and everything. I know a lot of people are like, are against that and everything. But me personally, I always separated, the art from the artist. So I go, listen, Chris Pratt did a good job in this. And he played Dan Forrester, and he's a biology teacher. In this movie, he might be a different kind of teacher. I think he's a biology teacher, and he gets drafted. And the premise is they go to the future because there's a war there going on where aliens have come to Earth and they're wiping humanity out. And Dan gets drafted, and he gets his little armband. And when you go to the future, you only go for 7 days, because what they have is the aliens have a time of rest on the 7th day or the 8th day, maybe. And you stay there, and that's your time in the future. And then you come back, and you don't have to go back unless you want to. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Then we have Yvonne, I think that's how you say her name, Stravosky. Gosh, I really hope I say it. Who's playing Colonel Murray Foster? Murray Foster? I don't know. Anyways, weird freaking names. So when Dan goes into the future, he meets his daughter, all grown up, because when he leaves from the past, she's 9 years old. Then when he gets to the future, she's an adult, and she's a colonel, pretty much leading the army in the future against what they call the white spikes. That's the aliens and everything. We'll talk about them just in a little bit. But I thought Yvonne Stravosky did a really good job. I like her as an actress. She's very pretty, and I like her a lot. And I thought she did a good job. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like, she's obviously a strong, smart woman in the character of Mary Foster, because she does like biology and stuff, and they're trying to figure out a serum or a virus to kill the female white spikes. I keep wanting to say White Stripes, like the band. Anyways, so Sam Richardson plays Charlie. Now, I like Sam Richardson. He was a little bit of the comedic thing, and I saw myself in Sam Richardson. His character Charlie, his wife got drafted first before him, and she went to the future and never came back. And then Charlie ended up going, and I connected with him just because, he was nervous, and he was like, when I get nervous, I like to talk. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally get that. When I get nervous, I'm just a gabba, 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 gabba and everything. And then when the white spikes were coming down the stairs at him, he's like, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. Except he was saying, oh shit and everything the whole time. And I was just like, oh my God, that would be so me the whole time. I'd be like, oh my goodness and everything. So I totally, resonated with that character, and totally felt like I was Charlie in those instances. I totally like Dan. I kind of got his point as a father in the movie, and I connected with him that way. But I connected mostly with Charlie because I just felt like that's how I would act in that situation. Dan, Chris Pratt's character has military experience, and I don't have military experience. I know, surprise and everything, but I don't. Now, I want to get into the story in just 1 second, but I first want to just say, as far as the movie goes, I did feel it went on a little too long. Even though I liked the movie, I did feel in the third act, I did feel like it went on way too long. Like when they come back to the future and they're trying to stop the white spikes in today's time, that's when I felt like, all right, we need to wrap this up, because all the future stuff, when they go to the future and they fight that war, that was the part that I really liked a lot, especially when they fought all the white spikes. I really like those parts a lot. It's when they came back and they were fighting the white spikes in today's time, I was like, I mean, like, it's fine, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling it. So now I want to get into this story a little bit, and I'll just go through and I'll go through it and everything. I'll try to be really, really quick about it, because this movie's been out for it seems like forever now. But I just want to get into. So it starts in 2022, which is only a year away as time is filming this. And Dan, who is a biology teacher and a former Green Beret, he fails to get a job at some research center and everything. And while watching the World Cup, soldiers from the year 2051 arrive and warn humanity is on the brink of extinction due to a war with alien invaders referred to as the White Spikes. And the White Spikes will arrive in November 2048 and kill the majority of humanity 3 years later. In response, the world's militaries are sent into the future via wormhole device called the Jump Link. But fewer than 30% survive deployment to return in 7 days, prompting an international draft. And what they said was, to go into the future, and I might talk about this because Dan goes in and he gets a notice that he's drafted, and that part was kind of comedic and funny, because he's all like, why do I got to take my shirt off? And then he's like, they put his arm in a thing and everything, and then he gets drafted and he has to go to basic training. And before he does that, he's all like, he's like, I died. And she's like, sir, that's classified information, I can't tell you. And then later on, he's talking to Charlie, and him and Charlie deduce that all the draftees, to prevent a paradox, those who are drafted have already died before the war starts. And the draftees are sent forward in time to the battlefield of Miami Beach. But when they get sent to Miami Beach, very few of them survive, you guys, because somehow an accident happens, and the jump link gets dropped, or something happens. They didn't really explain it in the movie, but the jump link like gets distorted or whatnot. So the people, they get dropped like, because they were like, you're gonna drop 5 to 10 feet above the ground, and I was all like, okay, and everything. Oh no, it's hard. It's way higher than 10 to 12 feet. They get dropped above the city, and most of them die because they just, like, one guy like literally lands on something and it breaks, and then he just falls to the ground, and some people just fall straight to the ground. I was all like, you guys really aren't helping out the future when you guys mess up like that and just kill people and everything. I was like, man, you guys gotta get that crap together. So then Colonel Forrester, the daughter, she orders them to rescue personnel from a nearby lab, and they're working on a thing to kill all the white spikes, because they worked on one and they succeeded in killing all the males in the future, but they haven't been able to kill the female. She's been able to take it or whatnot. So then while they're in the city, they're going to drop bombs and destroy everybody that's living there. And I liked this part a lot because you got to see these white spikes for the first time, and they shoot out things. I was trying to figure out what they reminded me of, because I wanted to see a Pokemon, but I couldn't remember. But I remember some kind of creature that was like a dog-like creature with the little things coming up. And I was thinking maybe it was like a Final Fantasy creature. I couldn't remember. If I remember by the time I edit this, I'll throw a picture of it. But anyway, so they get knocked out and they're back at some kind of base, and he realizes that that's it. She tells him that that's his daughter, and they're in like the Dominican Republic or something like that. So then she tells him, I want you to come with me on a mission to capture a female white spike. And she doesn't exactly say it like that, but you know. Um, and they're a lot rarer than the males. In fact, I only think there's one, but I don't even know because I wasn't paying like that close attention. So they're in like their one of their little holes that they go dormant in. And on the way there, they talk about it in the helicopter how they arrived, completely didn't set off any satellites or whatnot. Nobody knew they had arrived. They arrived somewhere that was completely isolated. And within 3 years, there were white spikes on every major landmass in the world. And they were just killing people. And she was all like, they don't take prisoners. They have no need for prisoners, money, government, all that stuff. They're just hungry and we are food. And I liked that a lot too. I thought that was kind of like I like people when they just tell you straightforward what's going down. Although she kept secrets of what she was going to do. And I was like, dude, just tell him what's going down. That's the thing about movies that always annoys me. I'm all like, you I know you're not in, you don't know you're in a movie character, but when you're in situations like that, just tell the people what they need to know, kind of thing. So anyways, so they end up kidnapping a female. And I liked that part a lot too. Everything with the white spikes, I liked the fighting and everything because I liked all of that. So then she tells him that the reason he died was he abandoned them and then he got into a car accident because he was like unhappy with his life. And I'm all like, I mean, he didn't look like he was unhappy with his life before, he went off to war. So maybe, I don't know, just because he didn't get that one job. I'm like, try again. Don't be a freaking weirdo. So they transport the female white spike to a oil rig in the middle of the ocean. And I believe it was somewhere off the coast of the Bahamas. Don't quote me on that. I cannot remember and I didn't write it down. It doesn't even matter. And so they create a toxin that will kill the female. And so as soon as the female figures out, because she's a little smarty, she sends out a call to the males and they just come a swimming. And so a big fight breaks out on the oil rig and there's like cruise liners and battleships all over and drones and everything. And they're trying to hold them off so that Dan can take the serum back to the future and then they can mass produce it. So that way, when the white spikes show up, they are ready to go. And so they lose and Murray dies. She like falls into the ocean where all these white spikes are like coming at the queen or whatever. And he jumps to the future and the jump link gets destroyed in the future. So they can't send people to the future anymore from the past. So he gets home and he's obviously in a state, and his wife, who's played by Betty Gilpin. I like Betty Gilpin a lot. She doesn't get enough work. She had a small role in this movie and I wish she had a bigger role, but I really do like Betty Gilpin. Hollywood give her more work. She's really talented. I don't understand why they don't. She was in that one movie where it was like a Hunger Games situation, but with like normal people. I don't remember, but I really liked her in that movie and everything. I haven't watched Glow. Anyway, okay, I digress. Anyways, so they're back and him and his wife are trying to figure out what happened. So they deduce that the white spikes are already here, like right now. They are here and we need to figure out. So then they go to Charlie and they get so he goes to oh gosh, Martin. I didn't write his name down. The guy played by Hodge, the actor Hodge. His name is Edwin Hodge. I don't remember the character's name, but Edwin Hodge's character. They go to him because he kept a claw from one of the white spikes. So he goes to him. He's like, I'm going to need that. Then they go to Charlie, who works at some kind of tech company. I can't remember. And he examines it and they find ash from from a volcano in Korea. And then they're like, how does the white spikes get ash from a volcano in Korea when they first show up in Russia? So then they go to this kid that that's in his class at the beginning of the movie, who's obsessed with volcanoes. And as soon as they're like, does anybody besides whatever the kid's name is want to talk about volcanoes? And I'm all like, oh, volcanoes are going to come up again. Like, what's going on here? Like, this is a setup and everything. And they did. It was a callback and they called back to him. But I did like Charlie when he's all like, oh, I would have given anything for the chance like this in high school. And I was like, oh, I'm there with you, brother. Like, high school was a nightmare. Anyways, so then they deduce that what happened was way back in the day, they showed up, and then the big volcanic eruption happened, and they got the ash on them. So they were here way long time ago. And then global warming wise, the reason by 2048 the global warming had melted all the ice caps, so they're probably somewhere up north. So they travel up there over by Russia, and Dan and his dad, who he is not huge friends with or whatever, they go up there to some glacier or whatever, and they try to, and they find an alien spaceship, and they realize that the aliens had crash landed on Earth. Like, Earth was not their main goal to get to, but they crash landed here, and the white spikes are actually a bioengineered weapon, like a planet destroyer, but Earth was not its planet to destroy. It just crash landed here. And so they start to kill all the white spikes. And this part annoyed me hardcore because you could see the queen, the female, right in the middle of all the sleeping white spikes. And all of them go and they shoot up the males. And I'm all like, why wouldn't you shoot up the female first? She's like the leader. And this thing will obviously kill all the men, all the males. Why don't you kill the female first? Duh. It's like a beehive. Kill the queen bee first, and the male bees don't have anything to do. Okay. So stupid. But I guess they needed that because then the queen, the female, she gets out, and then him and his dad have to fight her off and everything. And that was pretty fun. They end up killing her and all that stuff. And they blow up the alien ship with all the males. So then the big politicians all like, oh, I sent that mission up there and I would do it again, even though he was like, I'm not going to send you guys up there. I'm not going to waste taxpayer dollars. And I'm all like, you know what? That's such a politician thing to do. What a dick. And so Dan brings his dad back to his house to meet his wife and his daughter and everything. And he's all like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes again and leave you guys because I found purpose and everything. And he's going to be there for his daughter's future and all that stuff. So, like I said before, the third act was the part that really, like, I felt like it took way too long. When they get to that glacier part, I was like, at that point, I was all like, man, this movie is like it's starting to drag. When they're in the future, that part is where it was good. Like, I was like, oh, I'm all about this future, this tomorrow war. But as soon as they got back to our time and everything, I was like, I'm kind of over it and everything. So that is my review for it. I kind of broke it down. Sorry, didn't mean to, but I really did. I liked this movie. I said I kind of liked it. No, I liked it. It was fun. It was a fun movie. And if you're hating on Chris Pratt, get over it. I mean, like, he literally has done nothing wrong. So if you're one of these people that hate on him, I'm like, well, fine, hate away, because I'm gonna go see this crap. I mean, if I had to pay for this, I would pay for this. I would have went and seen this in theaters. Probably not though, because I only get to go once a month pretty much, and I think I might go for Black Widow. But anyways, okay, so tell me, what did you guys think about this movie? Do you have Amazon Prime? Did you watch it there? Would you have watched it in theaters? Are you a Chris Pratt hater? Are you a Chris Pratt lover? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go hit that like button. I won't mind. If you know my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next movie review. You guys have a good week. Bye.